Now, 12 direct touches to your database. This is a little bit of a different touch systemized method than the other two, primarily because this is for the people that you haven't met. 12 Direct is a systemized method of working the haven't met portion of your database. It stands for 12 direct mailing pieces mailed out annually, pretty much every single month. So you're sending out 12 direct mailing pieces to the people that you haven't met for every month for 12 months. Remember, we touched bases on this. We covered this in the lead sources section. You may not have, some people may not have watched that section. That was a bonus section. But if you did watch that section, we talked about the 12 touches that you should do at the minimum if you're trying to farm a new neighborhood or a community. If you're trying to farm a community, you should be sending out 12 mailers. If you're not going to commit to that, then don't do it at all because you're wasting money. So if you see that you don't have the budget to send a mailing piece out every month for 12 months, just don't do it at all. Sorry, I hate to say that because you're not building credibility when you skip a month or two. They're going to realize, they're going to think like, man, maybe this agent doesn't have enough money to sustain and, market in this neighborhood. And they're going to forget you. They're definitely going to reach out to another agent that's hitting them more times, touching them more times. So these are people that you haven't met. So farming a community, like I said, is a great example. If you want to kind of speed up the process, because this is a marketing technique, all these are pretty much marketing techniques. And we did add in some prospecting touches as well. But for the most part, this is a marketing technique. If you want to speed up, and we already know from the lead generation section that marketing takes longer. It is what it is. If you want to speed it up, like I mentioned in the lead sources section, you can add in prospecting by calling around to those neighbors or whoever it is, calling around to those people that you're sending the mailers to. You can call them as well to add on an additional touch, call them every month. Also, you can door knock as well. So you can send them a mailer, call them, and then also door knock. Now you're touching them 3 times a month. See how that works? So this is for maybe a community of people or an area that you're trying to take over, but you haven't met them yet. They don't know you at this point, not yet. Okay. So remember, for every people you market yourself to 12 times in a year, you can reasonably expect to generate 1 sale. This is for people you have not met. Okay. Just remember that. So for every 50 people in your market, so if you're farming a community, you just decide to market and farm to do the 12 direct touches to 100 people in a community, and you do it 12 times, you can expect to generate 1 sale. So remember that. So when you're farming, your ROI is typically, you're looking like that return on investment is probably going to be just 1 sale. Now, again, you can add in some additional touches so you can see the return faster. And also you could probably increase the amount of sales that you will have. So instead of touching them 12 times a year, if you do it 3 times a month, 3 times 12, that's basically what, 36 touches right there. So I'm quite sure you will increase that sale from 1 sale to, quite sure you might probably triple it. So just remember this, guys. And the same thing kind of goes to online leads as well, guys. They don't know you, they haven't met you. So you need to be kind of touching them as well. These are people that you haven't met. You can take that 12 direct touch approach if you have their mailing address. But if you don't, you have to use a different process. Definitely you want to do the 8x8 first with those online leads. And then you can do some 12 touches a year. You can start adding in the 12 touches a year. So it's kind of up to you on how you want to do it. I would say the more touches, the better, because then you'll be able to convert them a little bit faster, build up that credibility for them. And then you never know, they might start sending you referrals and or work with you probably a little bit sooner, because you're touching them so many times and they are really gaining a lot of value, and maybe you help them build up their confidence and in their heads are like, actually, I could do this a little bit sooner thanks to this real estate agent that's been reaching out to me regularly. Online leads, you got to remember that there's a process with them. So an inquiry, because some people will say when it comes to like online people, when they respond to an ad that they're a lead automatically, technically they're just an inquiry. So their inquiry at this part, when they respond to an offer, they're just an inquiry, right? So if they're curious, they will respond. Maybe they'll respond a couple of times, right? And then they'll go from that kind of like inquiry to like a prospect once you've captured their email and their phone number. And then once you actually qualify them, we're going to talk about that next. No worries in the script section. Well, not next, but soon, guys. Sorry that I keep jumping you guys, but we're gonna talk about that soon. But once you qualify them, they turn into a lead if they actually pass that qualification that you're gonna do to them, that qualification test, I'll call it, with the scripts. And then eventually they turn into a customer, someone that you will actually do business with. Okay. So just keep that in mind with online leads. Just want to touch that real quickly. And I want to just mention before we kind of wrap up this section, the marketing activities, is that marketing to your MET contact database is generally the most cost effective form of lead generation. Okay. So we talked about with prospecting, that is typically it's free and it's more affordable, right? It's usually cheaper than marketing. Remember that when you are marketing, because we know marketing costs, it's usually not free. When you are marketing, it costs. But when you market to your MET contact database, generally that's the most cost effective approach or making your phone calls, right? So just keep that in mind when you're trying to figure out, or if you're on a budget, or if you're a person that's like, hey, how do I get this done? Maybe in the most cost effective manner, right? This is how you can do that. If you should market regardless, because again, you got the prospect and market, but when you are marketing, maybe initially in the beginning, if you're on a tight budget, that you just kind of target your MET contact database first, because it's going to help you alleviate your expenses at this point in the beginning. And then once you built up that marketing budget, because you're selling houses consistently, that means you have the money and you can put it aside and really start targeting your non-MET database. Okay. All right, guys. Hope you guys learned a lot. And I want to point this out before we fully end this section, is that this is your 80%, right? 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort, right? So, well, I'll say your 20%, sorry. Prospecting and marketing is your 20%. Put a lot of your effort and energy into that, and you will see results if that's where you're putting a majority of your energy and your time and your effort. But again, you still have to commit X amount of time that we talked about when it comes to prospecting. What do we say? 3 hours daily. You still need to make that commitment. And you also need to create the stacking effect. You actually have to put effort into putting together that stacking system, that stacking effect system for the marketing activities, and ensuring that you're doing that as well every single week and every single month as well, so you can truly see your results. So if you don't do anything else that you in this training, I would say please spend a lot of your energy and time on marketing and prospecting, because you're going to see majority of results from that. All right. Perfect, guys. All right. I'll see y'all in the next section. We're going to go back to scheduling. And then because we want to, everything that you just learned, I want to make sure you guys have a full understanding of how you should schedule it out. I want to break that down for you real quickly. It's going to be short. And then we're going to jump into your CRM. All right. See you guys in the next section.